Hey everyone, today I want to talk about this book that really opened my mind about a big part of my learning that I completely ignored throughout the years. That is memory drawing. And the part that it played in art history, a lot of different artists from Rodin to Degas. So it's very interesting, very well studied and researched and presented here as a step-by-step guide to improve your memory for drawings. So let's take a look, especially in the index, as I always like to do. So coming into from a history standpoint, and then going into more of the science of how we process images and everything. Then a step-by-step guide overall view of the whole process that we're going to be going through. Shapes, values, and colors. So breaking down each part to make it more digestible and easier to learn. Advanced memory drawing, a more sculptural approach to drawing, and some appendix that we're going to go through later on. So I'm gonna just go faster. This person studied with some students from Yves Gamel. There is a Gamel Lack and Richard Lack. There is a Gamel Lack Foundation YouTube channel that is very good as well. I'll add a link to the description. Definitely follow, and you can learn a lot from them. There are books from them, and he will mention throughout this book a lot of times their approach to learning and teaching drawing. A history view that was super eye-opening, so I highly recommend it. A big part of this methodology comes from Père Lecoq, as this artist was called. So a view on him and his story as well. And drilling down on other examples of artists that had more of this approach, either studying under Lecoq himself or other people that used a similar kind of methodology. The science behind it, as I mentioned before. If you've seen my review on Betty Edwards' book, Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, this comes way before her as well, this kind of approach to the Edgar Rubin vase. The process, the breakdown of shape, values, and colors. So starting with shapes over here, understanding what's the guideline that will start your whole drawing. So actually, he starts with lines, so a lot of lines. You can do a quick test on his website on drawing lines from memory. It's really interesting to go through. I'll try to find a link to put in the description, but it's basically this approach. So if you have one of them, or at least the base one, trying to remember the size of the one on top, but not measuring directly. It's more from observation and memory than measurement. And that's the whole approach to everything. So it's staying a long time observing these shapes and imprinting them on your memory so that you can put that down on paper again, and not measuring the distances, how big this is against this. There is no deconstruction from a rational standpoint. It's more observational and direct memory. Getting more complex into things that we can give a name to. So faces and parts of the human body, some bones. Very nice exercises. Then going into master copies. We'll talk about master copies in the appendix as well. Value, so value relationships in memory, and the memory approach based on one value to remember the rest, and growing from there your ability to remember values. The BOG approach, I have some videos on BOG here on the channel as well. And then these examples, memory sketches from masters. I love this one. You can definitely see This is the source material, and this is the final memory painting. Super, super interesting. Color, warm versus cool, and having all those comparisons and relationships to get everything more and more complex. Memory from the landscape, so going outside and then coming back to the studio to paint, that must be super difficult. The sculptural approach, so thinking in 3D. And some advice from Per Lecoq, Harold Speed on visual memory. Another interesting point of view. Drawing curves versus faceting your drawings. So there's a big discussion on this, and he goes briefly over it. And finally, more on copying old masters. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this review and got you excited to draw from memory. This is a great resource to start with. So have good studies, have a nice day, take care, and I see you on other videos.